Hi, my name's Austin Grace and I'm a 2024 Agriculture Scholar. I applied for the scholarship to enhance my skills and knowledge in the sheep and wool industry. My scholarship took me to New Zealand. I spent my trip working on various farms across the South Island of New Zealand, helping out with weaning. I was also able to attend numerous ram sales across the island to gain an insight into the New Zealand sheep and wool industry.
The first place I spent time at was Stonyhurst, which runs stud and commercial sheep, cattle, deer and cropping. It is located near the Greta Valley and owned by the Douglas Clifford family. Stonyhurst is renowned for its long-standing history as a family farm, but also one that is at the forefront of innovation and forward thinking. Stonyhurst is based on the coastline and exposed to 1,200 mils of annual rainfall, presenting challenges with sheep production, these being foot rot and worms. They have multiple studs on the farm, of which they are breeding sheep to combat these issues in sheep production. They do this by combining breeds and selecting for foot rot and worm resistance. Due to their breeding program, they now don't drench or foot bath a sheep past the age of a hogget. I assisted Stonyhurst with their weaning program. An example of forward thinking I've seen was a breeding line they are experimenting with that is trying to combat ethics around sheep production. They are trying to breed a sheep that does not grow wool around the breech, so does not require tail docking or crutching. However, still tries to grow valuable wool on the body. The next place I went to was Marua on the Banks Peninsula with the Foley family. I assisted with weaning and crutching. After that, I went to Amarama Station to assist with their weaning program and mustering. Amarama Station is a sheep, cattle and fodder cropping property owned by the Subtle family. They are in 450 mils of annual rainfall, so experience a dry period around winter each year. They have pivot irrigation, so capitalise on this to make feed to store and use when it's dry, and also finish young stock for sale. A very interesting operation with large-scale sheep production. It was interesting to see the difference in rainfall across the island and challenges presented. The next place I spent time at was Mulla Station, located in the Awatere Valley. By far my favourite place on the island. It was truly stockmanship and working with nature at its finest. Mulla Station is a large-scale sheep and cattle operation with large variance in altitude across the property. A large portion of the property is taken by snow throughout winter each year. Most of the mustering is undertaken by foot or on horseback with working dogs. It is exceptional the handle the shepherds have on their own working dogs. I assisted Mulla Station with their mustering and weaning and was able to see their young ram classing with Next Gen Agri. They have similar challenges associated with sheep production and select for sheep that have good fat and muscle reserves to survive in the sparse hills. Spending time at Mulla Station with the shepherds has definitely raised the bar for dog training with my own dogs. After Mulla Station, I was then able to visit Blairich Merino Stud in the Awatere Valley and catch up with Australian sheep classer Chris Bowman whilst they were going through their young sale rams. It was really interesting to see some Australian sheep genetics in New Zealand. After, Ron Small, the owner, took me on a tour of his property in his helicopter. It was amazing to see the views and landscape from up above. After visiting many farms to help with weaning, I was able to go and see the ram sales across the island to gain an insight into the New Zealand sheep industry. I visited Glen Allen Pole Merinos first, which outsourced genetics from Australia. I then visited Cleardale Genetics and the Gums Genetics, which have 3 different stud lines for sale called Merino, Quarterbred and Halfbreds. The quarter and halfbreds are Merinos infused with the Romney breed. They do this to take the attributes of foot rot and worm resistance from the Romney and still maintain wool value from the Merino. I then went to Middlehurst Station to see their Merino sale, and then to Armidale Merino Stud to see their sale. The last sale I went to was Earnscleugh Station Genetics, which is by far the most interesting sale. Alistair has 7 sheep studs and multiple cattle studs, breeding animals with passion. He had his merino sheep sales having 4 different lines, being fine, superfine, ultrafine, and a fertility line called Inverino. Earnscleugh is renowned for having the finest wool in the world. Alistair engages in forward contracts with Italian wool buyers, securing his wool for a significant price premium. He pulls up wool with clients he sells rams to so he can create enough quantity. Some of the wool he had on display was 10.8 and 10.2 micron, having sold for $1,667 and $2,050 per kilo. To put this in context, the place I currently work at has 17.5 micron wool, which at the current market price is worth $16.50 per kilo. The other stud sheep lines Earnscleugh breed focus on fertility, having a specific gene called the GDF9, which if used properly will increase sheep reproduction rates by 20 to 40%. Going to this sale has opened my eyes to the possibilities within genetics and sheep breeding.
Since finishing up my scholarship trip, I've taken on a full-time role as stud manager at Bogo Merinos, which is a stud sheep and cropping farm. I also class a range of sheep flocks in New South Wales under my own business, AG Livestock. The Global Footprint Scholarship has provided me with an opportunity of a lifetime. I've gained valuable insights into management practices and challenges faced in New Zealand sheep farms. Being able to see the New Zealand sheep industry has given me a broadened perspective to assist me in decisions I'll make in my current role as stud manager and sheep classer. Alongside, as a young industry leader, will help me create a sustainable future for agriculture and the sheep and wool industries. The trip has really helped me grow as a person and provided me with valuable networking. I would like to thank the BBM Scholarship and all involved, in particular Sue Ellen McCaffrey and Carmen Wells. Thank you.